Hello, I'm Dan Counter, the Colorado Cashback Realtor. 30 years in real estate in Colorado, and I have with me today my mortgage lender, Tracy Parkes with CrossCountry Mortgage. Tracy has a lot of knowledge and experience, and I would like to hear from you.
Nice to see you, Dan.
Hey, I believe there is a lack of truth and transparency in the marketplace with regards to value and benefits available to real estate consumers. With Tracy's help, I hope to explain the value proposition that we provide for our friends and clients and the opportunities available to them through our fair pricing and cashback rebate programs. But first, 90% of homebuyers start their search online before ever contacting an agent. 60% actually find the home they want to tour, yet 90% rely on agents to finalize the transaction. Tracy, a question I have for you. Have you had home buyers come directly to you prior to even contacting an agent?
Quite often they start online, but I do have some buyers who come to me first. And I found that when they do this, they had a lot of misconceptions when they started online because there's a lot of teaser rates and information that is being withheld in those systems. Buyers don't understand what their debt-to-income ratio is and how it affects getting their loan. They don't understand the interest rate options because they are quite often teased with some very low interest rates that really aren't achievable for them. So when they start off with a trusted lender, somebody that their real estate person actually knows and trusts and does business with, they find out that they can get a great loan and they actually get all the information. So that's my part with you, is that I always try to make sure that everybody is fully informed.
Makes perfect sense to me. You know, I was going to say that home buyers are contributing to the process and I believe are entitled to a portion of the money they have already paid into the transaction. I have a cashback rebate program that pays you 1% of the purchase price. An example, you purchase a $700,000 home through me, I give you 1% cash back. That's $7,000, and it happens to be tax-free. And I'll explain how that works a little later on. But I have a question for you, Tracy. This has come up recently. I have a home buyer. He wants to take the price down $20,000. And so the question I have, is there a better way to use this money? Is a rate buy down maybe a better way to go? I need to advise him on this.
Yeah, I understand that if a house has been on the market a little bit longer than what makes the seller comfortable, they are interested in lowering the price to get new attention. There's a couple of things they can do. Obviously, when they lower the price, what does that do for the buyer's monthly payment? Versus if they offer it as a seller concession. Let's say they have $20,000 that they're willing to either lower the price or they're willing to give in seller concessions. Quite often, the buyer would rather have the seller concessions. It does give them a little bit more flexibility of what they can do with it. They can buy down the rate. They can put it towards their closing cost. They could do a combination. And what we find is, let's say the $700,000 property is now $680,000. That saves the buyer about $133 a month. However, if they cut down their rate, they could actually save, several hundred. I did a calculation earlier, about $460 a month by buying down their rate.
The buy down makes a lot more sense then.
Yeah, and there's permanent buy downs and temporary buy downs. But if you want to know a little bit more about that, that's why you're working with a trusted lender like me. And so those are the things that we would work through with the buyer. This is why they need to be qualified. They need to be working with a team.
Hey, Tracy, let's take just a minute because I have something else I'd like to share with the audience.
Okay.
Cashback is tax-free, which the IRS has defined as a discount on the home purchased. It's cashback on money already spent. It's not considered income, and no 1099 is necessary. It's actually a reduction of the purchase price to help buyers who are overpaying. No home buyer should have to ask the awkward question about cashback. If you have to ask, you may want to evaluate who you're working with. Dan Counter guarantees cashback rebates to every home buyer working through Teamwork Realty. Is there a difference between a traditional agent and a cashback realtor? Yes. One of them keeps all of the money. Stop overpaying. A client asked me, can I spend the money any way I want? Yes. Pay moving costs, vacations, special gifts, savings, unforeseen expenses, or just give it to the kids. Kids, do not let your parents buy a home without cash back. It's your money. Hey, we're back, Tracy. You have mentioned your cost comparison about waiting, and I know I'm encountering that now with people. I'm saying, why are you waiting to buy a home? It seems to me like now's the time to buy. I know interest rates are still up, but appreciation is still up also. So what's your opinion on that?
That's a good question. And calculating in the appreciation that transpires over the course of the year, let's say they wait, hoping the interest rates are coming down. Meanwhile, the cost of the house is going to be going up for the buyer. If they didn't jump in this year, next year, the value of the homes goes up about 4% historically. And that means their down payment's going to have to be higher, as a larger amount. And even if interest rates do come down, I do have a nice calculator that I can do some most precise numbers for them that will help show their cost of waiting. And it might help to maybe make it a little bit more enticing, in addition to also potentially refinancing later when the rates go down. So there's a couple of ways to benefit yourself to get in now before the market gets really, really crazy. As the interest rates go down, then it will just be quite a flood of people to the market.
I agree. I think the crazy market's coming. Good point.
I think so too.
Very good point. Yeah. Let me ask you another question, if I may. We're used to the basic old school pre-approval letter, and you were telling me about a new 21-day approval commitment letter that really piqued my interest. I'd like to know a little bit more about that, because I feel like sometimes we're presenting pre-approval letters and we really don't have all the facts we need. So for me to properly represent my buyer in presenting an offer, I want the seller to know that we've done our homework, that it's thorough, this is a real deal. And I kind of count on you for that.
I appreciate that. Yes. So I think the importance is the difference between a pre-approval letter, which should be actually you should have viewed the credit report, you should view their bank documents, their pay stubs. That would be what is a basic pre-approval. We at CrossCountry Mortgage, we go one step further. We do offer, it's called a fast track, and it ends in a commitment letter from us. And the buyer can continue to shop. They don't have to have a particular house picked out, but we do go ahead and get them underwritten, and they come out with a fully underwritten loan availability to them.
Nice.
And this is what speeds up their process. A 21-day closing is actually quite common. We can even shorten that even more by having this commitment letter. And in addition, this helps the buyer's offer stand out to the seller. They know that they're fully underwritten and ready to go.
That makes it a lot more comfortable for me, because I've always wondered why it takes 6 to 8 weeks to get a loan approved. It just seemed to not make any sense. So thank you for that.
It shouldn't take that long. But this is, again, why you work with a team. So it's a whole team effort. You know, it's the realtor, the lender, the buyer. Everyone's really a three-man team. So we're going to get you there, and we're going to do it as efficiently as possible. 21 days should not be a problem. And the commitment letter is even better.
Sweet. Thank you. Hey, I've got some breaking news coming in. Let's break away for just a couple minutes. Buyer agency co-op fees are rapidly changing to the benefit of the homebuyers. Buyer agents will have to negotiate with sellers, listing agents, and homebuyers for the fees they receive. Agents will have to disclose and justify their earnings and paid to whom. Are you aware that many agents share their commission fees, the money you pay, with their boss, the employing broker? If an agent can't negotiate better for themselves, how are they expected to negotiate for you? Dan Counter has no office commission splits and passes those excessive charges back to the home buyer in the form of a cashback rebate. An important observation: the last 10 years in real estate, residential real estate, has required very little knowledge and impossible to gain a wide range of experience when there has been nothing really to work on. Do you know what to look for in hiring an agent? We do. Home sellers and home buyers will have to learn how to interview, negotiate, and hire an agent. 80% have no idea, and why should they? Truth and transparency has been lacking. Often the agent may not understand that the home buyer is paying for everything, and many times stated that the agent is free to the home buyer. That's wrong and incorrect. Hey, we're back, Tracy. A question came up about home inspections. We know they're extremely important, even on new builds and especially resale properties. I'm seeing a lot of older homes now that people are very concerned about. They've got repairs and updates they need to make, but they don't have the money to do it. And I said, let me talk to Tracy about that because I know you have a couple of options. And especially you had mentioned once about a 5-day quick approval. I'd like to know a little bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that CrossCountry Mortgage offers is a 5-day HELOC, meaning within 5 days, you can have your cash in hand. This is a fixed rate HELOC, so you know what your payments are going to be. If you just need some funds out of your equity, it's a great way to get those repairs done, maybe update your house before you put it on the market. And there's also, of course, a couple of other loan options, HELOC options and second loan options that we can help you with as well. But the best one for a short time frame is that 5-day. It's called Equity Express, actually.
Oh, I like that word.
Equity Express. And you can just reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you find some extra equity and funds for those repairs.
That's good information I will be passing on right away. Thanks. Hey, let's break away a minute. I've got some really important things I'd like to share with people. Teamwork Realty value proposition is a collaboration of all the industries working together to achieve a common goal. The Encounter has a history of helping people, experience, knowledge, fairness, cash rebates, and has a tremendous team working together for 18 years, always laser focused on your transactions. We have experience in every category of residential real estate. I have overseen or managed fix and flip properties, rental, investor purchases, and understand the critical components required to buy or sell your home. I'm partnered with the Renovation Remodeling Company. Our buyer agency agreement outlines the 1% cashback value and benefit with terms of how we will be working together. It's important that every home buyer have an agency agreement for their own protection. Hey, we're back. Tracy, another question. Working with new home builders, buyers should always be represented with working with new home builders. Sometimes we even consider new home builders for sale by owners. It is their own property they're selling. And oftentimes a sales agent is unlicensed and actually works directly for that home seller. So I think it's extremely important for all buyers to be represented when they're working with the new home builders. And in fact, we've won many awards in Denver and Colorado Springs with new home builders. So we're very knowledgeable and know what to look for in that area. A question that comes up is on the builder loans and then the construction loans, because I know the builders tend to build in a lot of the financing into the pricing of the home. I've had situations in the past where, in fact, we got a better deal through, say, your mortgage lending company than we did from the new home builder. I didn't quite understand all of that, but I wasn't sure how you deal with that or how you handle it.
New construction sometimes has an in-house lender. Usually, they actually own the lending company. The builder and the lender are the same owner. And they build in some incentives. That's usually built into the price of the house. Yes, and a buyer is interested in a new construction. It's always in their best interest to get a second opinion, to get a little more information and see how all the numbers shake out over the whole picture of the loan. And that's a great time for us to connect. If you just want a second opinion, I'd be happy to share that with you and get you some other numbers to see how it compares. As far as new construction goes, oftentimes there are individual builders that are just building a house for one person. And we do have an in-house construction team for our loans, and they help the buyer go all the way from selecting the land and getting that financed, and then also updating everything for the contractor so that they have their escrow to draw from and helping those folks get their home built. So we have a whole team for that as far as the loan goes to help you get that new home that maybe it's hard to find homes. So that's a great time to get a construction loan.
Sounds to me like you're an A to Z lender. You can do it all.
We have a lot of things. That's true.
Glad to have you out there and on our team especially.
Yeah, we even have renovation loans, just separately, so they can stay where they're at. We can do a renovation loan, or they're getting ready to buy a house that's not in great condition. We have renovation loans for that.
Hey, Tracy, in ending, I just want to add one thing. Sellers needing, fast cash and want to get out right now. We have an as-is program. I have a 35-member investment team that are all cash buyers that can get people out like right now. So if you're in a jam, need to get some money, need to get going, let me know. We can do that right away. Trade your keys for cash. And Tracy, I want to thank you for spending the time with us today. I really enjoy having you on our team. Got just a couple quick questions. Number one is there anything else you would like to add while we have you live on the air? Because I know you're hard to get a hold of. You're busy.
Well, thanks for having me, Dan. I wanted to just let people know how to get a hold of me. It's Tracy Parkes, and I'm with CrossCountry Mortgage. I've got my own mortgage team, and my secret sauce, honestly, is our processing and underwriting team. We all work together, and we get you closed fast and smooth and efficiently. My phone number is 240-274-4318, and that gets you right to me. So looking forward to talking to you.
I'll be calling you. Good to see you. Bye-bye. Hey, have you seen our hot new digital magazine developed in-house by Evan Hughes, our marketing manager? He is creative and uses local Colorado content. Unlike the generic magazines that simply add your picture to their materials. Expand your knowledge in Google Dan Counter and open your eyes to the money opportunities. Thanks for tuning in today. I've really enjoyed it. If you'd like to learn more, search Dan Counter or the Cashback Realtor. See you soon.